Hey everybody, welcome back to See What God Did There, episode 11. I know it's been a little bit of a break, but I wanted to send out a thought in honor of a friend of mine who's getting married. This episode is a little bit of a more adult sensitive nature, so viewer discretion advised. When it comes to marriage, and particularly the wedding night, there's a statement in the Talmud, Sanhedrin 22b, that a woman before her first sexual experience is like an unfinished vessel. And it says, Ein isha kaireses bris ele mishay sakeli. A woman only forges a true covenant, a true bond with a man who transforms her into a completed vessel. The simple interpretation of it being the man who breaks her tokens of virginity and in a sense creates her into a new vessel. But the idea being a little bit more deeper psychologically, that first experience has a tremendous imprint on the woman's psyche, and that paradigm shift forges a bond in her to the man who basically gave her that first experience. Now, in certain ultra-Orthodox circles, this has actually been something that's caused a lot of trauma. On the wedding night, there is a pressure to consummate the marriage for various halachic reasons, but this is being one of them, is that the man needs to, in a sense, turn her into the vessel in order to create that bond from the outset. Unfortunately, when the woman is not ready, especially in very ultra-Orthodox communities where the husband and wife don't yet necessarily know each other very well, instead of creating a vessel, creating a wholeness, it actually creates a brokenness, a fracture. It shatters the woman's vessel, and it creates a very damaged start to the relationship, which in many cases is difficult to heal. On the flip side, is it really true that a woman who is in, let's say, a second marriage, who it's not her first husband, or even a woman with the same husband but in a subsequent experience with that husband, is it really true that she cannot forge a true bond and covenant with that man through that experience, even if it's not her first experience? So perhaps there's a different way we can approach this by looking at the word Ein isha kaireses bris ela imisha seakeli, that a woman only forges a covenant with a man who transforms her into a vessel. What does it mean to be transformed into a vessel? It doesn't have to mean literally just, breaking a certain part of the anatomy to create an opening. On a deeper sense, a vessel is that which is able to receive. It has the capacity and the vulnerability to receive from the giver. So in the case of a husband and wife, the idea being that a woman may have certain inhibitions. She might not feel safe and secure with the man, whether it's her first husband, whether it's her second husband, or whether it's her husband in any particular sexual union experience with that person. If she doesn't feel truly safe and secure and able to receive and vulnerable, then she is not being transformed by him into a vessel. She is being broken. Her vessel is being broken. So what the Talmudic teaching is perhaps telling us is that if you're the first husband and if it's the first sexual experience, in order to create her, to transform her into a whole vessel and not break her vessels, not shatter her into a million pieces, you need to be able to ensure that you are creating a vessel for her. You are helping her create a vessel. How do you do that? So a vessel needs to have a width and a depth in order to be able to receive, in order to hold that which is being given. So when a husband is trying to give love and trying to create intimacy, the first and foremost objective and goal is to help her become more vulnerable and safe and secure to be able to receive more widely and more deeply. That is the primary responsibility of the husband in helping his wife become a whole vessel, as the Talmud calls it. Now, that can happen on the first night of a marriage. That can happen on the 100th night of a marriage. That can also happen in a second marriage. In every experience, in every sexual union between a man and a woman, between a husband and wife, the husband has the ability to help his wife experience greater security, greater vulnerability, greater safety, greater bonding with him. And that is what, in that way, she will be able to create and forge a true covenant with him, no matter who he is, no matter when it is. A deeper understanding of this could perhaps be from the word keli itself. The letters chaf lamed yud those are root letters that are shared with other Hebrew words. For example, surprisingly, the word klayo, which means destruction. In creating a vessel, there is a part of the clay that you need to destroy in order to create the vessel. You need to either hollow it out, or if there's a lid on top of it or something, covering it over, you need to break that off. So when the husband helps his wife or creates an atmosphere and in his love to her helps her become a deeper and wider vessel, there is a certain destruction he has to help her through it, the process of, in terms of removing the inhibitions she may have already. Obviously, this needs to be done in a loving way because you're making it's a destruction of the covering in order to create a vessel. It's not a destruction of the vessel itself. On top of that, the word chaf lamed is also the root of the word kol. Kol means all or everything, which in Kabbalah refers to the sphere of Yesod, which is the part of the body and the psyche which bonds with the other. It's in the physical body, it refers to the reproductive organs, which in a sense takes the entire human coding in your DNA, and then on the one hand, it transfers it to the other person and together bonds and creates new life in a child. But the reproductive organs themselves create a bond of the entire body and soul, body and psyche between the husband and wife together. It's a full body, full soul, full psyche experience. And that is signified by the word kol, which is the sphere of Yesod. And how does a person reach a point where you're able to bond together with your spouse fully in your kol, in all your being, in Yesod, which is called kol? That comes through finding the proper balance in the relationship, in your operating and functioning through your klayot, through your kidneys. Why? In the rabbinic teaching and Kabbalistic teaching as well, the klayot, the kidneys, it says, give counsel to the soul, give counsel to the psyche. It's like an instinctive, maybe intuitive type of guidance that it gives to a person's function. But it relates to the kidneys especially, and the kidneys, according to Torah, relates to the sexual functioning. And in particular, they relate to the two Kabbalistic spheros of Netzach and Hod. Netzach and Hod are in the body manifested in the kidneys, they're manifested also in the testicles, perhaps I guess in the ovaries as well, I would imagine, and in the legs. And we're not going to get deeply into all those different manifestations, but in regards to the kidneys being related to the word klayot, and the kidneys being related to Netzach and Hod, Netzach is a conquering posture. Netzach literally means victory or to conquer. It's the part of our psyche which enables us to get up and overcome things and to conquer and to be victorious. Hod is more of a surrendering posture. It relates to confession, it relates to gratitude, it relates to, instead of overpowering, being more humble, giving power, acknowledging the power of something else, whether it be God, whether it be another person, and the gratitude and confession we have to that person for what they give us. So the klayot, the kidneys that give counsel to our psyche, and especially how they give counsel in a relationship and bonding with the other person, Netzach is a conquering posture, and Hod is a surrendering posture. And in every relationship, and especially in a marriage relationship, and especially in a sexual relationship, there is a constant dynamic of conquer, surrender, conquer, surrender, conquer, surrender. And when you find the proper balance of conquer, surrender of the klayot, that is what allows you to properly and completely bond in the kol of Yesod, which then annihilates, destroys klaya, the inhibitions of both spouses, and especially in a healthy way, that is, especially of the woman, making her feel safe and secure and vulnerable, such that she then becomes a kala, a healthy and loving and safe and secure wife to the husband. And through that, she becomes the vessel who is able to forge a complete covenant and bond with the husband, the keli. Just to add one last thought on this, since we're talking about marriage and these particular things, it's also interesting that when we talk about man and woman, it says, we all know that it says that when God created man and woman, it was ish and isha, man and wife. And the rabbis point out that ish and isha are both the same letters, aleph shin, aleph shin. The man has a yud, the woman has a hey, and yud hey is Hashem's name. And that when man and woman bring God into the relationship, and God is the glue that keeps them together, then the Aish, the fire that they have, will be a holy fire. This is something that's taught by Kabbalah. It's something that's taught, I've seen this in the teachings of Rabbi Yitzhak Ginsburg as well. So this is a famous teaching, the idea of Aish, and Hashem's name, Yud Hey. But we have another name that we use for man and woman, which is Zachar and Nekeva. And Perhaps there are explanations out there of what those terms mean, but I haven't personally explored it. But Zachar literally comes from the word zikaron, which means memory. Nekeva literally means a whole. It doesn't come across as a very, let's say, modern way of referring to a male and a female. A male is memory and a woman is a whole. But if we look at it in a deeper sense, what is a woman's greatest desire is that she will always be remembered by her husband, that she is always on her husband's mind. And when there is a proper and true and healthy brit, covenant between the husband and wife, then the husband truly is constantly thinking about, obsessing over his wife. He is in a state of zikaron. She is always in his memory. And that is what she wants most, that she should be in his memory all the time. So in a sense, in this male-female relationship, God is telling the husband, your job is to reach a point where your wife is on your mind all the time, and she alone. She's the only thing on your mind. She is your obsession. Obviously, God should also be our obsession. But the wife is the obsession of the husband. When we look at the woman as the word nekeva, the word nekeva is actually an interesting choice of words that Hashem gave for the woman, because it doesn't just mean a hole, it literally means a puncture hole. Now again, one might immediately think, oh, it has something to do with the tokens of virginity, but it actually can mean something much deeper. That the woman, in the reproductive organs that Hashem has given her, she is the only one who has the ability to actually puncture through to the other side, to the realm of divinity, to the realm of souls, and draw through the veil, so to speak, new life. So in that sense, a nekev literally means, like I said, a puncture hole. It's really more like a portal hole. The woman has the capacity that the man doesn't have to literally, like we said, puncture through to the other side and bring life through. The woman is the portal hole. And that's perhaps why when it says that even when Adam and Eve were brought together, what was the name that Adam gave to Eve? He said, Eim Kol Chai. He saw that she is a portal hole to bring life into this physical world from the other realms. So when in this idea about a husband and wife, a man and woman becoming a true bond together in a true covenant, part of this is reaching a state that when there is a true covenant, the man reaches a point where he is obsessed with his wife, that she is the only thing on his mind other than obviously God and his holy obligations. And what he perceives in her is not just the physical beauty, but also her spiritual beauty, the power that she has that he doesn't have, which is to be able to literally reach into the other dimensions, the spiritual and the godly dimensions, and bring life across the divide through the portal hole into this world.